My Gavanna Melanin. It's been a while, but I've taken a little bit of a personal break, and if you follow me on my Facebook public page, you'll understand why. But I did say while I was on my break that I was going to come back with another Elven Wisdom nature video because I was thinking about something that really truly helped me during this hard time, and I believe that it inspires a lot of people. And in fact, Tolkien used this natural formation in his books many times to symbolize different things. So I want to talk about the mountain and the nature of the wisdom that comes from the mountain. One of the things about mountains, if you ever live around them or if you travel and you go to see the mountains, is that the moment that you come across these giant earthly structures that are the highest and tallest and largest earthly structures in the world, you feel a sense of understanding about your own life. It really does put things into perspective. I wouldn't say that you feel small in the sense of insignificant next to a mountain, but your earthly problems do feel a little bit like something that you can take on and you can see as a challenge, because the mountain is great and it is tall and it rises before us, but it is something that you can climb. It is something that many people do overtake as a challenge and sit there on the peak and look down. So the mountain symbolizes that for me. It is a way of overcoming your challenges in your life. And whenever I feel a little bit weak and a little bit helpless and a little bit insecure about my own life and not really sure where I should be going, I think about the mountains. And we have taken several road trips to see the different mountain ranges in America. And I just love doing it because the moment that I see the mountain, I realize that all of my problems back in the city where there are no mountains are really put into perspective. And I start to think about the larger things in life and in this world to worry about or to think about. And I start to think of ways to kind of conquer my own issues and problems in my life. So, one of the things I really love to do is to hike around mountains and go for nature walks, because as I'm doing it, I'm seeing my life in a different perspective, as I'm looking out and seeing the world in a different perspective from the different levels of being on a mountain. And Tolkien, I believe, he was really fond of mountains. He uses them several times, the idea that uh, Bilbo Baggins says that he just wants to see mountains again. He just wants to enjoy, actually seeing the beauty of mountains that is a little different from the hills of the Shire. And that kind of symbolizes the adventurous side in him, and to be able to think more deeply and broadly about the world. That is kind of what Bilbo Baggins was known for against all the other hobbits in the Shire. And that's kind of why he was seen as a little bit odd and he was a little bit of a reclusive, because he was so different from other hobbits. He enjoyed the adventure. He loved to actually go outside of his own little world, and he wanted to see the mountains again. Also, Tolkien, we know, if you love Tolkien and you know about Tolkien, he actually did use the Swiss Alps as inspiration for Rivendell, that mountain-esque type of environment, which I believe that kind of cradles the last homely house in Mildris, and also kind of surrounds it and protects it so that no one can find it easily, but also it gives a beautiful background and shows the height of the elven society, and shows that regalness and almost that divinity within the Noldar elves. So, mountains really symbolize a lot of things for people, and people really love living by mountains. I'm actually quite jealous of those that live in states with huge mountain ranges. If you live by mountains, you should really cherish that, because that is really truly a gift to be able to look outside and see these monstrous, giant shapes in front of you. And it shows you that your problems may seem very big to you because you're looking at it from a subjective, internal experience. But when you look at a mountain and you look at the events around the world and you look at the scope of everything around you, you actually learn that your problems are not as big as you may think they are, and you can conquer them. You indeed can challenge yourself to get past them and to find solutions and to fix those problems that are stressing you out in life. And that's why I really love visiting the mountains, because every time I do, I get a new perspective, just a feeling of inner calmness and peace inside of me that tells me that my problems are not as big as I am making them, and that there are always ways to find ways of making my life better and more peaceful. And the mountains are kind of that beacon of light for humans to show that something may be big and kind of overwhelming at a certain time, but it is indeed climbable. And it is there for you to also learn from. And just as we do with all of nature, we can learn from it. And so from the mountain, that is the lesson that I take in. And I feel that a lot of people feel very drawn to mountains because they symbolize that, to be able to look at life in a more broader, bigger picture perspective that allows you to get outside of the ego and allows you to take on more of the objective stance and looking at your problems and really becoming a master of your own life and changing your own life and being that alchemist that really is what your life is all about, and what Tolkien wrote about as far as being a sub creator and really taking the reins of your life by your own hands and driving its own destiny, where you want to go and what do you want to achieve. The mountain will help you do that. It will help you see that even the biggest problems that you are facing in your life, you indeed can reach some kind of solution and some kind of understanding about them, and you can reach that peace that you are looking for. So I love the mountain range, and I just wanted to talk about that because truly those who live by mountains are truly blessed. So Hananle for listening, and I will see you on the next video.